Careful not to slip, ma'am, one of the young recruits snickered as he sidestepped the wet floor. The others laughed, brushing past the woman in grey coveralls as if she were invisible. She gave no reaction, just kept mopping the marble hallway, her grip steady, her eyes lowered. Her arms, sleeved in tattoos, moved in rhythm, deliberate, silent, unbothered. To most, she was just the janitor, the woman who showed up before dawn and left after dark. The one who didn't talk unless absolutely necessary. They didn't know her name. They didn't care to. But that changed the moment she spoke. It was during a high-profile NATO visit. Generals and dignitaries from multiple countries gathered in the command center. Flags lined the walls, tension buzzed through the room, and everyone was on edge. One of the interpreters hadn't shown up. A Russian colonel said something to his aide, something rude, dismissive, thinking no one else would understand. But then, from the corner of the room, the janitor looked up and said, in flawless Russian, "He said your country shows weakness by relying on others to speak for it." Heads turned. The colonel froze. She put down her mop. Another diplomat muttered in Arabic, confused. She responded, in perfect Arabic. The room fell into stunned silence. Then came French, then Mandarin, then German. Every time someone tried to clarify, to check if she really knew what was being said, she answered back smoothly, confidently, switching languages like flipping a switch. 11 in total. 11 fluent languages from the woman no one noticed all year. General McCrae, who had just entered the room, paused as he took in the scene. Soldiers were now standing, eyes wide. The Russian colonel had taken 2 steps back. The woman stood quietly, hands at her side, expression unreadable. "Who is she?" someone whispered. That's when the general stepped forward and looked her in the eye. "Name and rank," he asked, but not with force, with curiosity. She gave a soft nod. "Lena Kovac, former tactical linguist, Unit 39, honorably discharged 10 years ago." The name hit like a thunderclap. "Wait, Kovac," a staff officer muttered. That's the one from the Kabul extraction, right? The one who cracked 3 codes live under fire." Whispers spread. Soldiers who had mocked her just days before now stood frozen, replaying every dismissive comment they'd made about the janitor with the mop. But she wasn't just a janitor. She was once the top field interpreter in the most dangerous zones on Earth. She'd intercepted threats, prevented assassinations, and saved hundreds without firing a single bullet. But after her final mission, she'd disappeared. She didn't seek fame, didn't write books, didn't ask for medals. She applied for a maintenance position at the very base she once defended, just to be close to the culture she loved, the soldiers she once served beside. The general didn't hesitate. He straightened his posture and saluted her. The entire room watched in disbelief as a 4-star general saluted a woman holding a mop. Then, one by one, soldiers in the back stood taller. Some followed suit, others lowered their heads in shame. She didn't smile, she didn't boast. She simply nodded and quietly picked up her mop again. But from that day forward, no one called her just a janitor. A plaque was installed near the operations wing that week. It read, "Lena Kovac, Silent Shield." Fluent in language, fierce in loyalty. She never asked for a title, but she earned something greater, respect. As we wrap up, don't forget to comment your country or city. We'd love to know where you're watching from. Never judge someone by their uniform or their silence. Some of the greatest warriors don't wear stripes. They carry stories you've never earned the right to hear. If this story made you pause and think, support us with a like and a thoughtful comment below.